Hello, and welcome to ACTV. My name is Robert, and this is a show we call As We See It. It's a show, it's an interview with a variety of people that we come in here and do our best to understand issues, inspirations, stories, and such. Again, this is As We See It, and today I invited a gentleman in again. His name is Gerry Mifsud. And he is a voice amongst all the seniors first here in Auburn, California. The gentleman has brought a lot of issues up to my plate, but today we are going to talk about two, maybe three if we have enough time, issues that pertain to here in Auburn. Gerry, thank you for coming back here to ACTV.
My pleasure, Robert.
And first and foremost, my email was given wrong spelling the last time we were in here. So my email, if you want to contact Gerry or myself, is robertrsteffen@yahoo.com. Thank you. Okay, now we were talking about the cemetery that is behind Wells Fargo on Elm Street and off of 49. Gerry, you brought this attention to me about it. The cemetery is a historical cemetery that has no fence around it, and that we have people that are going up there and desecrating the cemetery and the headstones and so on. And this activity was brought up to you by other Seniors First people, and so they asked you to come in here and speak upon this, and so I'm very grateful because this is a very important issue.
It is, very much
And
so.
again, I believe the community will rise up and do what is necessary to get a fence around that historical cemetery.
Right. Let's see. Senior First has helped me, and I'll talk about Seniors First, the cemetery, and Mickelson Drive and the speeding. But I found the cemetery issue when I went up to the long trail of encampments that start behind Wells Fargo Bank, right there at Elm and the freeway. The trail goes a 20-year long trail, mind you. It's been going on for 20 years that vagrant transients have been using this trail. It starts from Elm Street, from Wells Fargo, and goes behind all the buildings there, behind Round Table, behind the Auburn Union School District, and past 3 apartment complexes very close. So we're feeling the presence of transients and their encampments. And most of the vagrants or homeless are transients, and so we know that that's who's coming up to this trail. And so along the trail, as I've gone up there and I helped, I coordinated along with Jennifer Solomon to trap the 3 property owners. She found one of them, a private owner, to alert him to it. I found Caltrans, and they responded to everything I asked them to do. But then I find on county grounds a cemetery, an old, abandoned, unnoticeable cemetery with a homeless encampment, a vagrant transient encampment right on top of it. So alarms went off immediately. So I proceeded then from there to contact the county facility services, Farron Call, and I made her aware of the situation, that they weren't aware of it at the time, and neither was Caltrans. So it's interesting how I've been able to spot something and help out. But nevertheless, Farron Call immediately considered the things that I suggested, because the top surface needed to be cleaned immediately, and proper signs needed to be put up. And also, the last point, they addressed the other 2 things, but the last point, the fencing, there seems to be due process. I'm not sure, but Farron said that she would get back to me on that. We know it's a bone of contention, but not really. I don't think it's being contended as much as they are interested, but she said she would talk to her supervisors and get back to me. If anything is gotten out of this, is that a border has to be put up around this unidentifiable area, and you'd only identify it by the fact that there's two remaining old headstones from 1878 and 1887. And so when you look at it now, and keep in mind we need border. When you look at it now it's like a pasture. It's green. The encampment and the waste, material waste, has been removed, and there's just two headstones. You wouldn't know where the other graves are, and I know there still remains there. So what has to be done is the reason why the fencing needs to come in is just so people will be able to identify an area that they shouldn't walk into. Trespassing and vagrant signs are essential. You don't put a sign noting that it's a old cemetery, because unfortunately I've heard that people, there's still grave robbers in this world. I'm sad to say that. But nevertheless, because there has been this site at the cemetery is right along the trail. People stop there, they stay there, and they relieve themselves in that area. All where there's graves, unknown marked graves, but two headstones. So what we have to do, and I suggested, is I got a hold of the not the Historical Society, but the people with the museums, and they're going to look into the records to find the schematic of the cemetery and realize where the boundary is and safely put it around, so we ensure that these people will not be disturbed accidentally or on purpose. That needs to come about. So what we have to do is direct our attention to now I brought this up not only with the county facility services. I brought it up with the county environmental health people, because they need to go along the whole trail. It's toxic concern, so the ground has to be tested, and you have to start testing at the cemetery. That may urge us even faster if we realize that anything has resonated into these poor souls. So a direction needs to be given towards Farron Call, at facility services, also at the environmental health people, and also a claim has been filed with environmental health, and they said they'd get back to me. So I'm not sure, if this is due process or what have you. I've talked to two city council members, and one of them, he sounds like Walter Cronkite. I don't know who I should say it is, but anyway, it's unofficial, but he's looking into it. And the other one I can easily say was the mayor, and I wrote her a letter telling her of the situation. And I hope that maybe I could hear something from it.
May I interject here just a little bit?
Go right ahead.
On this, okay. Now, I have not yet been up there to see these graves or anything of that sort. As you're speaking, I'm gathering that how important is this to be taken care of, some people may say. Is it a place where tourists would like to come and see and say, hey, back in 1877 and so on, these people here were the pioneers, that set forth part of Auburn as it is today. So I believe if we give a story that would lead more people in the community to recognize this cemetery not only as a historical cemetery, but it needs to be revived and saved.
I've got to tell you, that's what the Historical Society doesn't want to do, and they should just rest in peace and with just a fence. By bringing attention to it that it's a historical place, then people are going to go in and rob the graves.
Well,
so we can't let that happen.
That's a give or take.
Well, it's not a give or take.
In order for someone to take note on, other than yourself or myself, is that people need to realize that there's a cemetery over there on the path, and it's
Right.
being desecrated.
Right, right.
What's being done with it?
Right, right.
Nothing.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely. Nothing
so
so
we're not
far.
here to bash anybody.
No, no, not
You
at
know,
all.
We're not here to uplift anyone. We just would like to have
Right.
a fence put up around
Right.
the cemetery.
Right.
You know, and respect it.
Let them rest in peace,
That's
not
it.
rest
All
in
the
peace.
people that are out here walking around and desecrating, please, you see the cemeteries, you see the headstones, walk around and camp someplace else.
You wouldn't want
besides
your
right
relatives to.
there. You know, yeah. So
would
that's
you
the
want
bottom
to
line.
be in the ground like this
No.
and know that? So at least a basic fence, enclosed fence, needs to be done. I appreciate everything that Fair and Call is doing, and the environmental health people, and the 2 council members. This is not met up with any obstructions from anybody. We're just their due process is the ball is rolling.
So
I
again,
appreciate
Gerry's
that.
coming in here and he's stating this is an issue, and it's an important issue, not just for the cemetery, but it's the vagrants that's going between apartments, and they may be stealing something out of your backyard. We don't know what's going on, and I'm not bashing them either. You know, but the point is that this is a cemetery that needs to be addressed not only by the people, by seniors first, but everyone here that lives in here or just passing through. Let's get a fence around the cemetery
Right.
that he's talking about, and show and put the signs up there that he's asking to do. Now, he's not just doing this himself. He's being asked by the other seniors that are in wheelchairs and have no ability to get in front of a camera or make a phone call to call these people. So Gerry is taking the initiative and the responsibility, as he's wishing other people in this community will just step up for 5 minutes of their time, address this issue, and let's get it done so we can get on to the next issues and the other things that are being neglected. Okay, now let's get on to this.
How about Mickelson?
Mickelson, let's get on Mickelson's here.
Mickelson
Street.
Mickelson Drive.
I've been there several times. I see that there's a stop sign down there by 7-Eleven.
Right.
And then it goes all the way up
All
there.
the
I haven't
way.
been all the way to the end. But
No.
there's no other stop signs. There's
Right.
no other stop signs. There's no crosswalks for the seniors,
Right.
children,
Right.
or of the sort. So Gerry's coming in here and he's saying, hey, contact your...
Bernie Schroeder with the
Yeah.
Public Works Department, and this is directed to the broader city, but the people on Mickelson, you know, I've heard you say this through petitioning and through knowing you as neighbors, so I've heard your voices, and this is your voice right here in certain terms, and only so many. I need you to back up what you said to me on the streets, and you need to contact Public Works, Bernie Schroeder, and help bolster what I'm doing that you're asking me to do by looking to me to contact all the people, all department managers on Mickelson. There's 5 of them. And Bernie Schroeder has put me on the agenda for March 18th to speak before the Traffic Commission about this issue and offer some remedies. And the remedies are this. In the past, we know that speed bumps, they were there and then they were taken out. I realize Frank Ford's involvement. I'd like to get in touch with him to see this other idea. I know they've alluded to stop signs, and that's what it's going to take to put on Mickelson Drive. It's going to take crosswalks with stop signs, maybe 3 of them, starting close to the bottom, and 2 in the middle, that will be in the area from the bottom of Mickelson at 7-Eleven, and there's a whole stretch that goes to the top of the hill. There's no stopping anybody. There's no stop signs. And so 1 down towards the bottom and 2 in that middle part will get control back on of that street. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, and so those are people that don't know anything about this road. It is a very steep and windy road. It will... If you have somebody out there playing basketball out here on one of the parking lots, the basketball goes out on the street, these people are going down this street and up this street, and they're going to run over one of your children or one of your grandchildren if this is not brought up and addressed immediately.
Right.
So, you know, it's not just, and again, Gerry's not just in here talking about this on his own issues. He's been asked by the community, by his neighbors, by little children are saying, hey, I'm scared to go out and play out, on the street or even close to it because I'm afraid I'm going to get run over. So all you people that live up there that are not aware, if you're not careful, you're going to run somebody over, and it might be your own child.
Absolutely,
So let's be
absolutely.
careful when you're going up and down this drive, because until we get the stop signs and the
Right.
crosswalks, please have enough common sense,
Right.
and courtesy to slow down
Slow
coming
down.
down that mountain. It's not
Right.
just a hill; it's a
Right.
mountain, and I understand that you need to use your brakes a little bit, slow down. You're going to get to where you want to get to when you get there, but let's not hurry and rush things in your life. So
Right.
all slow down here and enjoy one's life.
Right. Well, what I'm hoping to do is this, is that like I petitioned in my neighborhood, and this is all about our neighborhood, Auburn Ravine, folks. When I petitioned about the shelter business, I'm going to do the same thing out in front of Save Mart about Mickelson, the speeders on Mickelson, and offer a solution. So I will not only get the sentiments of people like I did before to support this concern. I want you folks on Mickelson Drive to either call me or write to me so I can bolster this effort with your support. Also, I direct you again to go to Bernie Schroeder, write to her. She's Public Works Director here in Auburn for the city. What's going to happen is that what has been attempted before hasn't worked. I know speed bumps people are thinking of maybe bringing them back. That won't work. It's the reason why they don't want to put a stop sign on this straightaway is because stop signs are designed to be at controlled intersections. Stop signs are designed to be at controlled intersections to stop cars from running into one another. But a stop sign on this street will be a controlled environment that'll stop cars from running into people.
And it's
So
gonna save
where is our
somebody's
concern
being
about
killed.
how do we understand that we got to look at that stop sign as more than one purpose about controlled intersections? We need to control that street, and the only way to do it is stop signs and crosswalks. Now, people, they can't even cross the street all along this way. They can't cross the street to visit neighbors because there is no crosswalk. There is no stop sign. They have to come all the way down the hill, or they'll venture across and somebody's going to get hurt because the cars are enough they're speeding because it's a straightaway, but it's a straightaway downhill. Now their momentum is even carrying more. When they come down the hill, they are coming into the cars coming out of 7-Eleven, and they're intimidating the people in the crosswalk right there at Auburn, Ravine, and Mickelson. We can't have that. So the best way is to put the first crosswalk right up as 30 yards up when you have the first incline on Mickelson at 7-Eleven, and it starts to level off. Right there should be the first one because it'll slow that car down coming into the intersection. Right there is the Auburn Villa Apartments. They would love to cross higher up on the street rather than go down to that crosswalk down at the end of the block. And the cars coming out of 7-Eleven, the vehicles are coming into them. So also, if you put one there, the old credit union building is now going to be a dental building, dental clinic. This will draw in more traffic. If we don't control that street, imagine the people coming in for that facility, and you got speeding cars coming down. So if we start to slow them down along the street, people can cross at the higher points, and people will not be intimidated at the lower point of Mickelson, right at the new dental clinic and the Auburn Villa apartment complexes. The people from the complexes on that side of the street, on Auburn Villa side, I believe the west side of the street, the right side looking up, the complexes after us up there, the people come down and walk. When they come down to that juncture at the at Auburn Ravine and 7-Eleven, they either go off towards the Elm Street Shopping Center, or they'll want to cross and go to the 7-Eleven. It's not enough the cars coming down the street are intimidating. The cars will now want to fly up this street, so they're coming up behind seniors as we try to cross to go to the 7-Eleven. and the cars coming down are intimidating us. So that is dangerous. Keep in mind that a lot of these people crossing here and there are seniors. This is a senior street. There's more senior complexes there. So don't we have to take a little bit extra measures to consider the entity, those seniors? We can't intimidate them, let them be intimidated by letting drivers, speeders drive down the street. And speed may even be involved, because I hear there's drug use up in the apartment complexes. Not in all of them.
We're getting off base here.
Well, no, I want to get those
Okay, so
crosswalks and
we need
stop
to stay
signs.
on point here, Jerry. Work with me here, buddy.
Okay, you work with me.
Okay, so we brought the attention to Auburn here through ACTV.
Right.
Okay, we're bringing these issues not just to Placer County and Auburn, but we're bringing it again, being your voice to help bring us a fence around the cemetery that's up there. We're asking the community to step up here and not just use Jerry and me to get up here and get this stuff done for you. Work with us. Work with the city, the county. You can pick up a phone, or you can get your grandkids or whoever to pick up a phone and call the same people that he's talking to too. So let's not just be a burden on Jerry's shoulders here, because he's only got 2 shoulders here. I got 2 shoulders. So if we put all of our shoulders together, we'll be able to get these things, these issues addressed and taken care of. People will be able to walk across the street without worrying about getting run over. You won't worry about later on in years, if you get buried up in that cemetery, that someone's not going to come up here and desecrate your plot. So we have 7 more minutes, and we also have a couple other things we'd like to address too, as slumlords that we'll probably be coming back in here with and addressing slumlords.
Well, I tell you, that's on my mind. On my mind. I want to give a little shout out to these kind of characters in this town.
Okay, we only have a few more minutes.
I'll give a 1 minute little
okay.
scare here,
all right,
because this is like the worst kind. But I'll say he's very well, he's a slumlord. Okay, there's no easy way to put that. Nevertheless, I can't be presumptuous, but I'm onto it. Other people are onto it, and so are authorities onto it. This involves more than one tenant, and more
than one apartments.
More than one apartment. There is no doubt. It's multiple apartments.
Mm-hmm.
The city, people are onto it already, and we need the broader people in this particular complex out there on Nevada Street. I won't say quite where yet, but we need the broader people in that complex. I believe you know who you are, to write to Jennifer Solomon, the code enforcer, and start telling her what you're seeing.
Call her up and say, come in here and look at my apartment here. Look at what's going on here. And she'll come out and she'll take a look at your apartment.
Absolutely.
And see how bad you're living in. You got cockroaches running around in there. If you got black mold, you got feces in the carpet, and nobody's cleaning it up. But hey, they got no time about cleaning up the outside of the apartment places. Right. And this is not just one apartment. There's others in this community, not just here in Auburn, but in Roseville and so throughout this Placer County, Sacramento County included, and the rest of this United States. We need to step up and clean up and quit looking the other way and thinking it's going to get done by somebody else. We all have voices. We can all come up in here and ACTV and talk and be assertive, be compassionate, and speak about these issues that are just keep going over and over. Again, our time is up today. We thank you so much for letting us come into you and with these issues. Contact us here at ACTV or at my email, robertsteffen@yahoo.com. And Jerry, thank you so much for bringing this attention
thanks,
and
Robert.
this urgency to this community.
I can't tell you how much I've appreciated you. You're a true humanitarian, Robert.
So are you.
Thanks.
God bless you, and let's keep up the good work. We got a good fight. It's been a good fight.
It's all ongoing and continuing.
Thank you, each and every one of us. Step up in and let your voices be heard. God bless.